Okay, so first step. Today we're going to be doing starter replacement. Right there. You're going to have 3 bolts. They're 12-point. One there. There's one down there, and there's one on the back side. I'll show you on the new one quick. Obviously, you got to clean those connections up. We're going to take pictures. We're going to take note of where all this stuff is. It's pretty windy today, so I don't know how well this is going to turn out. We might have to mic up. But obviously, step number 1, disconnect the batteries. These are all brand new batteries. Let's look at the new unit. Obviously, we got a wire connection here. Obviously, we're going to have to connect up here. That's where the other wires come up. So take note. It's a good thing to have this and just inspect it, make sure everything looks good. So we got that. And we're going to do the other part as well. If I can get it open with one hand. That's our tensioner for our AC pulley. So that's the bolt. While we're working on that, I'm going to go spray that bolt down quick. Just so give it time to soak. So I'm going to spray that bolt down, disconnect the batteries, and get plugging away on this. Take some pictures, make sure I can kind of see where everything's going. Another positive note here would be to, if you can, let me see if I can get my hand in there better. If you get a cluster of wires and stuff like this, if you can zip tie them together, that way you know they all go on the same post. That'll help you big time. But this starter looks original, if I'm being honest. Okay, so one thing you can do, need a 9/16 for these lugs. What I usually do is I wrap your positives in a glove. Just cheap old gloves just to protect it, so if anything does like kick up, it can't touch a positive. See what I'm saying there? So real easy. This ain't gonna hurt nothing because there's no way that can flip up. So I'm probably gonna put zip ties on these top ones so I know which ones go on the top. Come on, focus. There we go. Put zip tie on that one, this one, and this one. So I know they go on this top post. There's another set down here, back down in here, that those go on there. So then that way I can kind of break them loose and kind of pull them up out of the way, because I'm gonna have to clean those up. So let me show you one of the benefits of having this tool. Let me get down in here. So you can see how cramped it is. I broke that nut free with my ratchet, angled head. I'll show you the tools that we're going to use. But this thing, so with the limited ratcheting, you can just hit it like this. And just roll it right out. That's why these things are a lifesaver. Okay, so what we're looking at here is this wire stays on because it goes up to that little thing right there, whatever that is. There were still 3 wires. You had that bigger one, this little one, and main power wire right here that's tucked away. Nice part about putting these zip ties on is leave the tails on, right? You can tuck them all off to the side, and these big ass whips sticking out will point that you got something out of place. I got that nut off. It looks like there's 2 big main wires coming in from the bottom there. Come on, girl, focus. 2 wires up here, and then this one. This one looks like it goes to the same spot on the starter, so this one will stay. So we got 4 big ones that gotta go on that back big post. Okay, update. That back one is a cocksucker to get. I had to use extensions, a little bit of a swivel, and you got to come in up through here, come down along that channel, and get on that. I hit it with a 1/2 inch, I wouldn't break it. I had to hit a breaker bar on my 1/2-inch drive. And once I popped it, she popped out, but she had quite a bit of tension on her. Looks like there's one more. I'm gonna pull off of that. And then I just gotta get the top and then it should come out. Okay, so you can see this is the original. There's some differences. I don't have that plug on the original one. There was a small wire here going to this relay. It's gonna have to go here, so we're gonna have to reroute that probably up over the top. Hopefully this fits and I don't have to move this. All right, well, she's in there, zip tied up. Come on. Battery corrosion protection sprayed on the ends, anti-seize on the bolts. Same on there. Let's see if she starts. Voltage looks good. All right. That's money. So you turn the key and you'd flip it over and it would do like click, 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 click. It wouldn't do anything. Boom. On to the next project. Okay, so we're just doing some numbers here. It took 3 hours to do that job with an average of 190. Dealerships are over 200. So we're averaging 190 an hour. It's $570 in labor. It was $520 for the starter. $1,000, $1,090, almost $1,100. Okay, this took 25 minutes to do. We started at 2 o'clock. It's 2:25. Change the tensioner. Tried to change the wheel, but there are different hubs in the center, so we couldn't do that. That's reverse threaded. Can't get it to focus. But that bolt down there, you got to get at it from back here. You can see it right there. You can spray the back of that, and then you need a 5/16 Allen. Put that on a socket with a 3/8 because you're going to need a 1/2 inch to do your serpentine belt tensioner. Get that belt up out of the way, and a 15 millimeter. Fit that. That's reverse, or sorry, not that one. To fit that one, that's reverse threaded. Pull that tensioner back, and then work it out by hand. This one came right out, no problems. Put some anti-seize on there, and you should be good to go. Easy money. So here's the old tensioner. Obviously it went like this. Don't know if the spring was just going bad enough that it was just allowing the belt to polish this, but when you hear the belt squealing, see, this is parts of the belt. I think it's so polished that it was just doing that, not putting enough pressure on that belt, allowing it to spin. Polish that up, and then that's where I'd get my squeal from. So obviously there's that bolt hole, and then you just got to line up this peg in the front cover. So let's talk numbers. That right there is a $149 part. It took us a half hour to put it in, 25 minutes to be exact, but shop's going to charge you an hour. So if you were to have that put on, $339. So what we did today plus the labor and parts for the starter brings us out to $1,429 plus tax and other bullshit supplies that they're going to charge you. You know, environmental fees, shop fees, equipment, technology fee, because they're going to diagnose. This ain't even considering a diagnosis. Are they going to hit you for a diagnosis to make sure your starter is the problem? Probably. So you're at $1,500 just on those 2 parts and labor, plus all the other fees that they're going to try to slap you. So just by a couple hours. So what did we spend? 3.5 hours working on this thing today. And we spent, you know, whatever, $520 for the starter and $150. So 670 in parts. Ain't too bad. So right there, as you can see, it wasn't that hard to do this, but the hardest thing to do was get at some of them starter bolts from the factory. They had them things in there. They were in there really good. And everything I keep reading is the torque value is like 130 to 170. Somewhere in there is the ballpark for a torque value on those. They are big bolts. Just crank them tight. You don't have to put a ton of force on them. I had to use a breaker bar on top of that ratchet to knock them loose from the amount of corrosion. It's almost 800,000 miles on that motor, or not on that motor, but on that truck. The motor's been rebuilt, obviously, but that's factory starter. So 800,000, 7 to 8 years of just wear and tear and elements on that thing really made that thing seat in there. And the problem you had is you have very limited leverage areas to break those bolts loose. So you had to get on it hard with a big push right away to pop that seal off, if you know what I'm saying. That was the hardest part of this whole job. But we saved ourselves a lot of money. And on the positive, we're not doing this on a road call. I don't have to worry about my starter going out on the road and calling tow trucks. And that's a whole nother added expense to this that we didn't even mention. So it's a nice day. We're not 30 below trying to, get our truck started and the starters out. We're not blowing belts off. Preventative maintenance, yes, it can be a pain in the ass, but it's going to save you in the long run, 100%. So don't be afraid to tackle these challenges. You learn as you go. I am relatively mechanically inclined. By no means am I a certified diesel tech or anything like that. This is just basic stuff that you kind of learn as you go. And don't be afraid to touch some of this stuff. The more you do it, the more you're going to learn. And the more you learn, the better off you're going to be in this game. So that's all we got on this one. Truck's ready to rock and roll for next week, and it's family time.